Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a video on how to achieve really dewy, healthy, luminous, glowing skin. We are approaching much colder months right ahead of us, and with colder weather it means drier skin. So I wanted to do a video on how you can really beat that and still keep your skin looking healthy and glowy and luminous all throughout the cold winter months. Or if you're someone like me and you want to look dewy all year round, that's cool too. I am going to be talking about those of you who are oily as well, not just for those of you who are dry and want to achieve this look, but for those of you who are oily and still want to have that really beautiful looking glow without looking like an oily monster, because I get it. There is a difference between oil and just straight up being oily and actually adding in highlight and adding that glow to the skin where you want it to be placed, if that makes sense. So I'm going to be giving you guys lots of tips. I'm giving you my disclaimer right now. I'm really sorry if I talk 500 miles an hour or if this video is 45 minutes long because I have a lot to get through, but I'm going to try to go as fast as possible. So let's get started. I'm actually recording in my bedroom today. I'm just sitting like in the corner of my room, but I've told you guys before I can't stand my background. I just want something new, so I thought I'll just sit here today, whatever. There are a lot of different ways you can go and steps that you can take when you're trying to achieve a dewy, luminous looking skin. So I'm going to kind of go over a few of them with you really quickly and then jump into the actual tutorial of this video to try to make it move along a little bit quicker. One of the first things I would recommend is going in with a primer like this one, and this is the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Light Infusing Primer. This is a beautiful glowy primer that you can put on the skin before going on with your foundation, and it will prime, but it will also give you that really beautiful pearlescence that lays underneath your foundation and slightly shines through. This is a method that I would really recommend for those of you who are oily because you can use your normal matte foundation, but this will give you just a little bit of a glow. Something else you can do is actually mix this in with your foundation. So one pump of this and one pump of your foundation, swirl it together. Or you can actually do a light infusing primer, a moisturizer, and a foundation and mix those all together like a little cocktail on the back of your hand and then use that as a foundation, and that will make you look so hydrated and beautiful, but at the same time, since you are using your normal matte foundation, it should keep you matte throughout the day, but still make you look hydrated and a positive way. Another step that you can take is using just an overall luminous foundation. My absolute favorite foundation ever of life is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I absolutely love this foundation, and for those of you who have sensitive skin, it's amazing. And yes, it is a high-end brand and it is expensive, but this foundation is one of the only ones I've ever used that does not cause any irritation, any sensitivity, any breakouts, any clogged pores, nothing. I almost feel like my skin improves with this foundation, as silly as that seems. So using a foundation that reflects light and has a luminosity to it will really make you look nice and fresh and dewy and youthful. But at the same time, if you are more on the oily side, you can use a mattifying primer, and that will kind of help the oil from breaking through, but you can still use a foundation to really make the skin look dewy while that primer underneath of it holds back the oil, if that makes sense. There's so many little concoctions and tips that you can use to make yourself look dewy and luminous no matter what kind of skin you have. Another step you can take is mixing in an illuminizer with your foundation. You can use a matte foundation or a dewy foundation for this. If you use a luminous, more dewy foundation, this is going to be very, very dewy, which I personally, I'm all about that life, but that's up to you what you choose to do. So you can take one like this. This is the Josie Maran Argan Illuminizer. This is the Gerard Cosmetics BB Plus Illumination. And then this one right here is the Becca Opal, and this is the Shimmering Skin Protector Illuminator SPF 25. These right here are my three favorites when it comes to liquid luminizers. You can mix these in with your foundation to give yourself a really beautiful glowy all over the face glowy effect, or once you have your liquid foundation on, before you go on with any powder, you can use these on the tip of your finger or a synthetic brush and just kind of tap it along the areas that you want to highlight, and this will look really natural and dewy. Last step in achieving that dewy, luminous look is setting your face with some sort of setting spray. And these two are my favorite when it comes to wanting to look more dewy and luminous. How many times can I use the word dewy in one video, honestly? This is the Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray, and this is cooling and hydrating. When you spray this on your face, it honestly feels just like a breath of fresh air. It's so amazing. And not only that, it will help the makeup last a little bit longer, and it sets it so if you've set your face with any powder, it'll kind of mix the powder with the foundation and really oxidize it to make it look really fresh and beautiful. And then this right here is MAC Fix Plus. If you want to be dewy, spray this right here. This bitch will make you dewy for days. I'm telling you, you can do your makeup however you want, drench your face in this, and you're gonna glow. So the first thing I'm gonna do is apply the L'Oreal Magic Lumi Primer. It looks like this on the back of the hand, very white, very liquidy. And when you mix it together, it honestly has like a pearlescence to it. It's just very pretty, and it's not too much to the point that it's overwhelming. And even though it is white, you darker skin tones can still use this because it's laying underneath of the foundation, not on top. So it's just gonna shine through and give a really beautiful glow along as a highlight. And like I mentioned before, you can mix this in with your foundation if you want. I actually love mixing primers in with foundations because it actually shears out the foundation a little bit while still priming the face, and especially with one like this, it just gives that beautiful luminosity. Now what I'm going to be doing is applying my foundation, and I'm going to be mixing in the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in the shade Opal. This does come in 3 different shades. I believe it's Moonstone, Opal, and Topaz, so light, medium, and dark. So there is a shade in there for everybody. This is honestly just such a beautiful luminizer. It's so creamy and just rich and luxurious. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to do 2 pumps of this. Let's get real. I'm going to do 3. And then I'm going to just take 2 pumps of this and mix it in. You always want to do, actually I'm only going to do 1 full pump because that's a big pump. You always want to do less of the highlighter than you do of the foundation just to kind of even it out and make it look a little bit more natural. So now I'm just going to mix this on the back of my hand and make a nice, rich, luxurious, dewy cocktail. Cocktail sounds good. Okay, so now that I have that on my finger, I'm just going to wipe that on the lower area of my face. Then I'm going to take MAC Fix Plus and I'm going to spray it directly on the foundation brush. MAC Fix Plus is a setting spray that's going to help set the makeup and make it look really dewy and natural and healthy. I like spraying it on the actual brush before going in and blending out my foundation because that way it makes the entire face just look really beautiful and healthy as opposed to just setting it at the end. Oh my gosh, it looks so pretty. Foundation is my favorite thing. Every single day when I apply my foundation, I'm just like, oh, yes, dewiness, because I'm usually so matte and dry. It always feels good to get on some hydrating foundation. So I did the chin area and the cheek area with 2 sprays of the MAC Fix Plus. So I'm just going to spray my brush 2 more times and then just do the nose and forehead area. If you are very oily, then you're going to probably want to avoid this step of spraying Fix Plus on your brush because it's just going to honestly accentuate the oil. But for those of you who are normal to dry, this will really benefit your dry skin and make it look really beautiful. Look at how much foundation I have left over. Oh, so wasteful. Whenever I have foundation like this, like tons of it left over, I'll just take a little bit of it and just kind of bring it down in this area instead of just wiping it off my hand. Like, why not? I'll just paint my neck as well. Now I'm going to be applying my concealer and I'm going to be using a damp beauty blender to do so. All you want to do is grab your beauty blender, hold it underneath the sink and squeeze it about 15 times in a row and you'll feel it expand in your hand. Once it gets to the maximum size, which this is the maximum size right here, you're going to want to just put it in a paper towel or any towel that you have and just squeeze out the excess water and then you're good to go. I know that sounds like it takes a lot of work, but it's really not. I love applying my under eye concealer with the beauty blender because of the fact that it's just slightly damp. It's just very hydrating. It feels very refreshing on the under eye area, and not to mention if you get too heavy-handed and you apply too much concealer, this will soak up the excess, which will help avoid that cakiness that you can get under there or that crepiness, and it won't crease in the under eye fine lines that we all have. So I really recommend a beauty blender for under eye area. I also like it for foundation, but just not as much as a synthetic flat top brush. So that's just me. I cannot find my NARS concealer anywhere that I've been using recently, which is driving me crazy. So instead I'm just gonna be using this Chanel corrector in number 20 underneath my eye area. I would like to use the NARS one. That's what I prefer because it just has a really beautiful natural looking effect. And the MAC Pro Longwear is a little bit too dry if you're going for something a little bit more glowy. My gosh, I cannot stand when I'm looking at my video footage and I'm like this, applying my concealer. I'm like, girl, get it together, close that mouth. When you're using a beauty blender, don't actually rub, just dab and press. And this will push all of that product into the skin along with taking away any excess product that you might have. So now I'm just gonna set my under eye area with just a little bit of powder, and I absolutely have to do this because if I don't, any mascara that I put on my lower lashes touch my skin under here and it will just take that mascara and soak it right up. And it's just a hot mess, and then I have black mascara, not cute. So I am just going to be using the Anastasia Banana Powder from her contour kit, and I'm just gonna take a little bit of it on a Sigma tapered highlighting brush and just dab right in this area. I'm not going to bring this down because I really don't want to get rid of that dewy effect that we have on the under eye area. I'm just going to put this right here to avoid any creasing or smudging with any eye makeup. Using a yellow based powder like this works for a lot of different skin tones because it gives a really beautiful brightening effect. So now to finish this off, I'm going to be using an ambient lighting powder from Hourglass in the shade Luminous Light. I have talked about this a couple of times. It is just so absolutely beautiful. And what I love about this is it is a very subtle highlighter that truly looks like you are just glowing from within, and I cannot say that enough. It is so beautiful. It is so picture perfect for a bride. It's just gorgeous. I really, really recommend this highlighter to those of you who are oily because it's not over the top. It's not going to be too much or crazy. It just looks so beautiful and luminous. Again, I'm taking a Sigma tapered highlighter brush and I'm just going to put this all along the tops of the cheeks. Oh my god, it's so gorgeous. Ah! When I highlight this area, I go from the brow area and I swoop it around and then I go down towards the nose area. Oh my gosh. Do you see how gorgeous this is? It seriously is just so finely milded. It does not look like shimmer or sparkle or glitter. It just looks like the light is just catching you and it looks like you've just spent the day outside and you're just nice and dewy. It just looks like you've been taking your vitamins. I'm going to also just dab this on the chin area. Again, if you are oily and you get oily in this area, you do not have to do this part. I'm also going to drag it on the Cupid's bow. Dragging it on the top of the Cupid's bow will actually help bring more pronunciation to the lips and actually make them look a little bit fuller. And then I will take a tiny bit of it and just drag it right there on the forehead. Again, if you're oily, you're not gonna wanna highlight the T-zone area, of course, but I am not oily and I just want that natural looking luminosity. Again, this highlighter is just so natural looking that you can pretty much just dust it all over your face and you're just gonna look glowing. You're not gonna look like, oh, you were highlighted. Okay, so at this point, I'm just gonna go to my makeup room and just put on a little bit more makeup to finish off my face, and then I will be back in just a minute. All right, so I am back and I have finished the rest of my makeup. And then just to finish this off, I'm going to just set my face with a makeup setting spray. And today I'm going to be using the MAC Fix Plus just because this really gives you a very intense, dewy, luminous finish. As opposed to this one, it's not as intense. More than anything, I feel like this one just sets your makeup, but this one really gives you a luminous finish. Woo! That was intense. So now what I have to do is I have to look forward so that my lashes do not touch my face, because if they touch my face, I will get mascara everywhere. So I just have to sit here like this for about a minute and a half and just let that dry and just fan it off. All right, you guys, so we are all finished at this point. Like I said, you do not have to do every single step that I just did. Figure out what your skin type is and what your skin type needs and go from there. If you're more oily, you may want to use a matte foundation and you could still mix some shimmer in it, or you could just use the primer, or you can mix the primer with the foundation, or you could just do a powder highlight like I used with the Hourglass ambient lighting powder. You just figure out what works for you and do you. I just wanted to show you the whole production and all the different steps that you could take to making yourself look dewy, luminous, glowing, all those great things. So yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy this video. And also, before I end this really quick, I do just want to take this time to mention that I am going to be doing a meet and greet in Chicago. Well, it's not actually in Chicago. It's in a suburb of Chicago. I'm going to be in Skokie, Illinois at Old Orchard Mall at the Lush store on September 25th, the day that Scandal premieres. I freaking love Scandal so much. And when they were like, September 25th work for you? I was like, ah! I'm so excited for Scandal. So I'm going to be at Old Orchard Mall at the Lush store. I believe it's from 6 to 8 p.m. I will put the link down below for you guys to RSVP if you want to come see me and hang out with me and take pictures with me. I can't wait to see you guys. I love doing meet and greets because I love meeting you guys in person. So yeah, go ahead and RSVP if you would like to come. I can't wait to see those of you who are coming. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye, guys.